Hello, good morning, or good afternoon if you are in one of the countries playing right now. We're going to have Russia versus Austria in the lower bracket, so winner advances, loser drops out. And Austria did not pick Team Islands as a home map. Perhaps we'll get it still as the final map. I don't know how much Russia will want to play that against Austria, but we can always hope. And the big question of the day is whether or not Leary will show up and play for Austria. Austria has been liking Black Forest as a home map. And hello, Blinky Babu. Russia going for a couple of the more standard ones, just the Arabia Arena. And Einstein, hello to you. Although, I guess Black Forest is fairly standard too. Team Islands is still there. There's still hope. Oh, Austria banned it. No. We're not going to have another 3-hour Team Islands game. Just taking our hope and crushing it right there. Nomad, I don't know. I don't feel like Austria would want to play Nomad against Russia. But then again, Russia did ban African clearing. And they banned Nomad. So Two Rivers is still an option. But nope, we're getting migration. Alright, I like some migration. I'll just keep checking for civs. And well, I have no info on whether or not Leary is going to play or not. For Austria's sake, I hope he does. But I have not heard anything yes or no. Hello, Maxos. Leary versus Finch could be nice. Would like to see how Leary plays in the very aggressive Arabia team game meta. Don't think we've really... I guess they've played some AM show matches, but I don't think we've really seen lots of him in Arabia team games that recently. And as far as a Civ draft goes, we do have migration as a map there. So there is a place to pick Vikings. I do think maybe Russia could have tried to ban migration or banned the water maps so that Austria would be stuck using Vikings on a map where Vikings don't make any sense, but they did leave migration there. So Austria won't have such a big disadvantage as the second team to pick civs as they otherwise might have. And all of a sudden Vikings become a very good pick instead of a very end of the draft pick. Alright, we have the civs now. And Russia will, of course, be picking first. Hello, Otomokul, and probably Butter. Yes, we do have some BF. Russia's taking Dravidians first overall, and Austria is taking Vikings and Lithuanians. I know, personally, I still prefer Vikings over Dravidians. But I guess Dravidians also have more flexibility if you want to do them Golden Lakes and Migration. But if you're thinking Migration Civ, I think I still prefer Vikings. And Britain's also for Russia. That feels pretty strong. And Portuguese for Austria. And remember, this is still the old patch, so none of the changes apply yet. Thericidai? I've seen them once and they felt useless. It felt like going for straight up just galleons with maybe some fast fires was much better. Kind of the same way that caravels and turtle ships feel kind of useless. Longboats can be kind of hit or miss. Like they're good if you gotta mix in an option against fire ships. Because then you have a ship that can fight both the galleons and the fire ships. But I feel like even longboats can struggle against mass galleons. Especially if you get civs like the Portuguese who have the extra HP and armor. And as the Vikings, usually I feel like it's better just to go for your discounted galleons. The longboats still definitely are useful, unlike the other unique ships though. The enemy just adds a monastery and you lose your Thericidai. Dravidians and Vikings get sniped off first, which does leave Britons for Russia. And that's Britons for Golden Lakes, BF, Arena, Arabia, and Migration. This is a set of 5 maps where Britons are a very good civ on all of them. Surprised how often they go Caravel still, because it never seems to work. Caravels are incredibly good when it comes to countering longboats. Otherwise, I agree. It feels like they feel kind of underwhelming. They feel kind of useless against fire ships. And still feels like they lose even just to galleons. And the Portuguese themselves do have galleons with extra HP and extra armor from their unique tech. So I think Portuguese still actually probably want to be going for galleons. So all of the good water civs being picked very early on. Italians, Japanese, Portuguese, Lithuanians, Vikings, Dravidians, Persians, Malay. Only really the Byzantines left. Maybe some other ones you could fit in, but it feels like Byzantines are the last big pick for the water maps. Fast imp turtles to counter fast fires. Don't know if that's a good strategy, but I would like to see it. Do we know if Leary is playing? We do not. That is the big mystery. Oh, Malians. Okay, another decent water civ. But more from their perspective of a migration pocket. Does Chris not play 1v1? Nope. He does not play 1v1s often. No, neither does Teutonic Tanks. Never seen Leary play BF? Would be fun to see him play BF. Happy Bicycle Day? What makes today Bicycle Day? Yeah, I'd like to do another Civ Builder one. I don't really know what settings to do for it, and I need to... I haven't talked to the guy who made the website recently. Hopefully he's still working on it. I like to do some type of drafting, but I feel like that takes a really long time. It did have a draft mode, but I don't know how fair it is, especially if we wanted to do a prolonged series. Man, no love being shown to the Byzantines. Hello, Johnny Bot. Good morning to you. I still got, it's 11:57, a couple minutes left of morning. I am too. I think sniping Britons is more important than sniping Dravidians. Austria might just be thinking they have no hope of winning Arabia, so they're gonna just let Russia have the Arabia civs. I mean, Russia does have Britons, Mayans, and Franks right now. And they have Britons, Mayans, Franks, Magyars for Arabia. That seems pretty insane. Haven't really seen much in the way of Arabia picks from Austria. No civ will end up not getting picked, because there are 42 slots. And Dravidians and Vikings being sniped means there are 40 civs, so if we play all 5 maps, we see all of the remaining 40 civs. Just not that Longboat Thericidai matchup. Hello, M. Strange. Oh, and also, if there are people around, we'll do the subscriber scenario, because I finished that. Hello, Panda Tank, and we don't know if Louis playing yet. We will see once they finish the draft and make the lobby. Don't know whether he's going to play, and if he does, whether he'll play all the games. Would be quite the drama if the only game he plays was that one game against the UK. At 43 in your mind? Well, it is 42 for now. And unless the AoE 1 thing they're doing adds more civs, seems like that will continue to be the number. How does a Panda tank compare to a Teutonic tank? I'll have to set up a 1v1 sometime. And there are the Byzantines for Austria. Seems late for them to be drafted. Well, you could use them as a flank on Golden Lakes, too. But like, they work well for that map. The, like, the good fireship fight followed by the ability to go imp quickly and try to control the middle, and you can kind of recover, but with huge trash spam if you get denied gold. But that has become pretty much a laming map at this point. Mongols with the extra scout line of sight can matter, but we've also seen the American civs be used as flanks there. Vietnamese also makes sense as a flank there if you want to lame early. Have they decided to do entire Nations Cup on the old patch? Yes, indeed. So the rest of Nations Cup will be on the old patch as far as they have decided so far. Maybe they make a change, but I doubt that would happen without a hotfix to resolve many of the issues in the new patch. I really don't see how you can do a tournament with aggressive maps like Arabia when the go back to work button doesn't work on the TC. Yeah, the pathing issues. Rage Forest, I think, can kind of get by because you don't really need to use go back to work as urgently. But if you're playing Arabia and you get raided and you need to put your vills back, then it becomes a huge issue. Rage Forest is nice because of the new fish traps. But for the rest of the maps, I think it makes a lot more sense just to keep the same settings throughout the entire tournament. And Goths are the very last pick. So Austria has to find a place to use Goths. Probably better than finding a place to use Vikings when there's no water map. I don't know, maybe Vikings can in some situations end up being a counter to Goths though. Like if you give the other team Goths and you take Vikings. So bad on the old patch because of the multi-boar lures. Yeah, that too. Yeah, I really do hope they get a fix by King of the Desert. How random stuff can just break when doing patches. Yes, that it's quite amazing what they're able to break and not catch in, either not catch in QA or not have the time to fix. And it's not just a coding issue, there are several levels of issues at play there. Yeah, I mean, I think Russia should have civs to win Arabia, no problem. Like, maybe that's where Austria uses Goths. I feel like Austria is just thinking if they play Arabia, they don't have a chance of winning, so they're picking a dump map to try to have better civs on the other maps. I mean, Russia could straight up have Britons, Mayans, Franks, and either Magyars or Huns on Arabia. And that sounds like a winning combination there. Britons, Mayans, Franks, and Huns. They should win Arabia. Or maybe they want to use Mayans on Golden Lakes and move Ethiopians to Arabia. Or they could be like, you know what? We're so confident we're going to win Arabia, we'll use Britons on another map too. Yeah, Russia still has decent BF civ. Like, they have Turks, Mongols, Celts, and Aztecs. They got Aztecs if they want on Arena. They got Burmese if they want on Arena. They had used Burmese on Migration before. Hello, Cheese Man. Yeah, the Farm Foundation bug. Yeah. I can understand stuff like the Farm Foundation bug happening. But what I can't understand is the amount of time it takes to get a hotfix made for it. And hello, Labasia AoE2. When are you playing again? Oh, if you're asking about USAE, we are done now. We made it to the second round of the bronze playoffs. Leary playing today. That's what we're about to find out, I think. I don't know. I don't have any inside information about that. I just see that the lobby is up and we got LB10 and freaking Andy joining it for starters. I think Vinchester also is streaming his point of view. So if you want to get maybe an inside look into the lobby, he will probably be there. Is there more drama about the Leary place? I mean, the drama was basically just there. If you were there for the drama. There might be more drama if that is legit the only game Leary plays and he doesn't play today. But I do hope he's going to play today. But it's a situation where they probably need to have that resolved in the rulebook for next time. There was an AoE zone thread, but it wasn't like a drama-filled AoE zone thread. Just remove Team Islands and or Fetorias. Yeah, the Fetoria Team Island strategy was well, quite the strategy. We'll give it that. But even if you remove the Fetorias, you still have the Bengali trade, which is now infinite food. And the lobby disappeared. Oh no. Leary is playing, is he? Where are we getting that information? I still don't see anyone in the lobbies. Oh wait, I do see. Vinchester has a lobby on his stream, which for some reason is not showing up on the dashboard. No dashboard. Give me the lobbies. Let's add that to our title. Add Vinch versus Leary there. Yeah, Leary is in the lobby on Vinch's stream. I don't know why I can't see the lobby. There's a question. Can Paradox see the lobby? This is not the time when the dashboard should break. I can see it in-game, though, just not on the dashboard. All right, we're going to have to... I'll keep an eye on Vinchester's stream, and then when they launch, I'll have to use the Spectate tab in-game. Also, whose idea was it that the Lobby and Spectate tabs should be separate, so I gotta switch to another tab and no longer see the same thing? in game. Like, come on, UI design. If we will play most games from now on, it would help everyone respect the Austrian side of the drama a lot more. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. If you played that literally one game and then never played again, then I think there'd be even more drama. Yeah, since the whatever the overlay is isn't showing up, I do see it is Freakin' Andy, LB10, Teutonic Tanks, and Leary against Dark, Warrior, Repard, and Vinchester. This should be fun. I'm hoping that I can actually see the lobby successfully at some point. It was Happy Leaves when we need him to debug stuff for us. Okay, looks like they are launching the game. I don't think Dark Age on Migration means we miss too much if we can't get to join immediately. And I can join it in the game. Look at this. AB2DE being useful with the in-game menu. Alright, well, we have a 3-minute spec delay by the looks of it. So let me just maybe show you the civs in-game. So we will have Lithuanian, Korean flanks for Austria, a couple of good flanks for migration, and then Byzantine, Burgundian pockets. I like that setup. For Russia, they'll be trying Burmese, Chinese pockets. Interesting combination. Chinese can do camels, they can do Chukonus, they can do Arbs. Burmese can do Arambai, maybe elephants, Halb later. And Persian and Inca flanks. Persian flank makes sense. Incas, you gotta throw the Incas somewhere, so... Golden Lakes also makes sense for Incas. Kind of surprised we're not just seeing Inca Aztec flanks on Golden Lakes to lame. But the wood savings from not needing to build as many houses do help you out get to a nice start on migration too. Yeah, one day they'll group the teams on this screen. Right, yeah, teams sorted by color and position. Well, right now it's sorted by player slot in the lobby, which really means absolutely nothing because it's just the order the players join the lobby. I guess it does matter in terms of the top player slots units are generated first in the RMS script. Sometimes that can lead to things like priority between which unit responds first if stuff occurs on the exact same time step. And we'll tab over to Capture Age and also update the teams. This is Austria A against Russia A. And here we are on migration. Yeah, winning the scout war on migration is super important. That has absolutely no effect in galley wars, I think, because galleys just kill each other if the arrows are both in the air. So for Austria, they will be to the southwest. We will have Andy as a Lithuanian flank, Leary as a Burgundian pocket, tanks as the Cyan Byzantine pocket, potentially for those Cyan pocket Byzantine paladins. And then finally LB10 as the Korean flank. Koreans get the old Viking wood discount. Oh, and Darkwind, thank you for the raid. Thank you for dropping off those Woad Raiders on LB10's Migration Island. And then to the northwest, we'll have the Russian team, where Dark will be playing the Incas on the flank. His pocket will be Repard as the Chinese. And we'll have Vinch as the Burmese pocket on the other side. And finally, Warrior as the Persian flank. We see that Warrior has gone for the one house at the start, chop the straggler trees, and get that fishing ship out as soon as possible with that early dock. Migration. I know, I've been loving this map. And we'll have the side dock here from freaking Andy. Lithuanian versus Persian, the two very fast up civs, but the Lithuanian looks like they went for the lumber camp rather than the early dock. We'll have a decent fish, not the best, but a decent one. A pretty decent fish there for Warrior 2. And we'll see those are the first players with docks, but the Inca player also going for the early dock, only needed one house. So the Inca player doing the same thing as the Persian, looks like skipping the second house at the start, doing only one house, and then adding an early dock to have a fast fishing ship. So you basically have that extra fishing ship working throughout the whole Dark Age, even though your villas do have to walk back and forth to the stragglers and the TC. I always love seeing these very interesting little migration builds. I did manage to figure out a build where I stacked the Viking and Dravidian bonuses for the Lithuanians, and I did a dock and no fishing ships, then managed to click up on 12 villagers with Loom. And you can very easily get 2 docks and 1 round of galleys, and then a second round of galleys for 4 galleys. Can you snipe off a lot of fishing ships doing that? Maybe. Is it worth it in the game? I don't know. But it was fun. You'd need like a Dravidian pocket then, and the Vikings would have to be your other flank. Or maybe you could do that, like Persian flank the other side with Viking Dravidian pockets. Just go full water, snipe off all the fish. One of your pockets could even do what Australia did, transport, walk across the island, dock here to go for the pocket fish, while your flanks just kill the fish of the enemy flanks. And then the other Dravidian could just boom and go elephant archers. Something like that. Well, we will see 3 fishing ships here from freaking Andy as the Lithuanians, and we'll be clicking up on 16 villagers. With Loom. And, oh, no, actually, we'll be adding in the 17th villager. You see him transferring the villas to try to click up. So 3 fishing ships, 17 pop up. Even if you go up really fast as the Persians, I don't think you get an advantage over the Lithuanians there. This is going to be a good start, and the extra fishing ships means they click up to the Castle Age faster. It'll be less than a minute's difference, and by the time any galleys sail from Warrior's Dock down here, Andy will be ready to intercept them. He'll just want a second dock back there, and he'll pump out his own galleys. I'll see if he goes for a mining camp or a long distance. Takes the gold. He might also go for a forward dock, a bit more risky. And he has gone for a 4th fishing ship, so it'll be 4 fishing ships versus just 1. As long as he gets his galleys out in time to defend this, he will be in a great spot. Kind of why I like the second dock back here is it just gives him more room to fall back in case Warrior is very aggressive, and then eventually take the lead and push back later. But this dock's fine too, as long as he can hold the area. Just a bit more risky, and requires him to have a bit more presence with intercepting the early galleys. And so instead of being able to move the fishing ships back here and then fight here, he has to fish here and then fight here in front of them. On the other side, we're also going to have 2 docks here from Dark, but he has gone for the second fishing ship. Only one fishing ship for Warrior. And then, yeah, we see LB10 going for the back dock. What I was thinking freaking Andy wanted to do. But he will be up a bit later than Andy, too. so needed to be more cautious. The downside of the back dock is that you do take a few fish away from your pocket. Like, ideally, I think the flanks would just front dock and be able to fish over here, so the pockets get all the fish in the back. But you gotta take care of your safety first for the fishing ships. And yep, there are the 2 galleys there for Andy, picking off that 1 fishing ship before the galleys popped out. Yeah, that's where I felt dock back there. You'd still have 4 fishing ships. He's got to be careful of the villager, but now he should be okay. Has to get the dock up, but he has room to defend. And if he can maintain 3 dock production against 2 dock production, even with the faster working Persian docks, he should have an advantage. But he does need to get the dock up, going way too far forward with that dock before he had control of the water. And you can see Warrior's uptime too. You know he's going to be up fast. And I think LB10 did a much better job of positioning his docks, and now you're still fighting in this area where you're waiting for your next round of galleys to pop out. The reinforcement distance is so much closer for Warrior than had they been fighting back there. And this is going to be a great fight for Warrior. I think this just all comes down to dock positioning here for Andy. Maybe he didn't have the cleanest build. We saw him doing Loom and then doing a Vil afterwards. But now he's taking a really bad fight and getting pushed back. Lost all of his fish. I was saying 4 fishing ships versus 1, you should be able to click up faster. But now his fish are down, and Warrior's in a position to fight these galleys a bit, and then start working his way towards this pocket and get over towards Leary's fish. Leary up to feudal. Now, I don't know if Leary has played much on migration as the pocket, but it looks like he's just going to go Burgundians. He's adding in a barracks and then a stable on the mainland. But his fish, he has 10 of them, still not... they're still not safe. Has to add in his own fire galley. Or even migration in general. I know he's played migration at least years ago because it was in our escape tournaments. And I know he had practiced with Tato for them back in the day. So he does at least have some migration experience. On the other side, we're just seeing pretty much a galley stalemate. We see those 2 fishing ships for Dark still alive. The 3 for LB10 still alive. And Leary looking to transport LB10 over. So this side is just complete stalemate here. Unless LB10 tries to sail past. But this is absolute disaster for Leary's fish. As Andy's trying to defend as well as he can. Leary even has to add in some fire galleys. Just to try to get more ships out. And we have Castle Age in for all the pockets. We'll have Teutonic tanks being up first. I do wonder if tanks will be going for the middle. He does now have a Byzantine fire galley out, so that will help to clean these galleys. And they still don't have fletching yet, so they really can't fight the fires. I'll have 2 Byzantine fire galleys out here for tanks. Don't see any Scion on the middle yet. They will finally clean up Warrior's forward ships. And by this point, Andy has enough reinforcements that he can start plugging up this channel again, but the damage is done. Warrior did what he wanted to do, killed the pocket fish. His pocket's fish for Winchester are untouched. And that puts Leary at a pretty big disadvantage if he needs to be fighting Vinch on the mainland. And Vinch will be going for the Burmese. I mean, going for the Arambai, potentially. We have, actually, was he on stone? He is on stone, so it looks like castle for Arambai for our yellow Burmese player. While Repard is just going to do a few scouts. And that's how they've played this. They've had Repard kind of booming and going for early imp map control, while Winchester goes for Cav Archer or Arambai. I've seen him play a few different civs, and then try to control the map with the military units in the Castle Age. Red over here, Warrior is Russia. The warm colors are the Russian team, and the cool colors are the Austrian team. And there's Imperial Age. So Tanks is going straight for the Imperial Age. I wonder if he's gonna go fast fires and try to boom in the middle, or if he's gonna do sling. We have seen this a few times where the Byzantine player will go for the fast imp and then sling, just kind of using the sling rules where you can sling once you're an imp. And it's like Canada without the leaf in the middle. But yeah, toting the flags on their sides definitely can be a bit confusing. Especially when they're all in this very long aspect ratio. I think this is far more than a 2-to-1 ratio. Maybe it is a 2-to-1 or like a 1-to-2 ratio there, but isn't going fast fires and completely controlling water a better investment? From what I've seen, that's too much of an investment onto the water, where you're going straight for the fast fires, but then you don't have enough eco, and your other flank just gets 2v1'd on land. Australia did good old sling the Mayans for eagles in the middle that worked out. But we also did see, I forget what series it was, but another Byzantine sling that didn't work out. So it's 1-1 in what I've seen. And Tanks doing War Galley, and now he has the fire ship, so he can engage. Does feel like Dark is getting an advantage in ship numbers up by 4 there, but not going to matter when the Byzantines are here with the fires. You like the fire ships from the FC go into middle while the other pocket goes full middle? Yeah, I've liked that like hybrid fire ship approach. New patch or old? It is the old patch. So none of the like pathfinding or weird bugs that the new patch has. But looks like Leary is forward with knights, and as the Burgundians, I'm sure he will soon be making cavaliers. But he'll be throwing them into camels and Arambai. You haven't seen anything so far? Try using the go back to work button on the TC. And we see Tanks already slinging a bit of food to LB10 as he's getting up to Imp. Yeah, just the old pathfinding bugs. Pride with a big... Oh, you are right. He's on 27 fishing ships. It's a huge fish boom. It's like Dark. No point in adding a dock back there. Reprod will fish to everything by the time you get there. Well, big fish boom that at this point with fast fire is going to die. I mean, galleys and war galleys both do only 1 damage to these things. I guess there's kind of no point in upgrading. Like the war galley upgrade might here just be a very strict downgrade here for Dark when they're harder to micro. Flag ratio is about 2 to 4.2. Yeah, most flags in the real world use a 3 to 5, 2 to 3, or 1 to 2 aspect ratio. In the United States, we're weird. We have a 19:10 aspect ratio. Almost 2 to 1, but not quite. And now these orange ships are just going to be cleaned up. So Russia is off the water. That means we have a score lead for Austria. A score lead, though, but... Yeah, and there we go. We see the sling. Score lead and now a sling, as Teutonic Tanks is sending resources over to Leary. So it's going to be the Byzantine player slinging the Burgundian player. And the Burgundians will now have cavaliers and double monastery monks, while the rest of the Austrian team is on the middle trying to boom. Yeah, then there is Nepal, and also Switzerland, who has a square flag. It makes designing user interfaces with consistent flag sizes rather difficult. As even if you do just uniformly apply like some type of stretch to the flags, it can distort logos or symbols. So even getting them all to be the same ratio takes some creativity and design. Ohio has a cape. On the south, looks like some ship had been there, but cleaned up. This is feeling just like a good old sling from the Byzantines. Lots of light cav from Reppard to deal with the monks. Remember, the Byzantine team bonus does mean monks heal faster. We have seen that. I need to make a video about this, but we did see the faster healing monks come into play in a healing cataphracts against the Goths situation. Dark's still trying to snipe off fishing ships if he can, but not really going to have much success anymore now that his team... Well, actually, no. Wait, Dark's on the complete opposite side of the map there. But Russia trying to take more control of the middle. We do have these light cav raids from Reppard still getting in, and the Arambai out for Winchester. We have Imperial Age on the way for Leary, and that'll be for early Paladins, but again, Bloodlines will not be available to his Burgundian Civ. And yeah, Dark lost a lot of galleys, but at this point, it's more about the middle. And at least everyone on Russia is on the middle. No one did get trapped on their home island. Warrior will be getting a 3 TC boom going. We have 2 TCs here from the Inca player, so eventually they'll have an eco on the middle to help out. And if we look at the Vil counts, 90 Vils for Reppard, 78 for Winchester. That is significantly more than the 2 pockets here for Austria. But comparing the 2 flanks literally have only villagers at this point. No scouts, no fishing ships, no transports, no galleys anymore. Only villagers. And there's 1 transport here hiding for Reppard in the corner. And there we are, forward castle there from Dark. And we'll have a defensive castle there from Teutonic Tanks, but no, he's not going to go for it. Going to go a bit more farther back, because he's afraid that goes up. Here come the Cavaliers from Leary. Will he be able to stop this? Will he be able to stop this? 1 hero villager, I think, will get it up. It's at 90%. Oh, but the monks can stop it. The monks need to convert that villager. And 93%. The Custier will save the Vil. And this could be a doubled out castle, as now Winchester is coming forward. We have Custier here still. Monks there for converting the Arambai. Arambai really don't like fighting monks. You need accuracy to deal with monks. And we have a castle. Honestly, wouldn't mind this foundation being stonewalled in, and wouldn't even mind a ram or 2 for taking it out. Block printing Elite Custier and Conscription now for Leary. Looks like he's not going to go for Paladins, but rather for Elite Custier. It looks like Leary's castle could be doubted too, though, as a wolf comes in at the same time as Reppard's Light Cav, and those vills are just going to be massacred there. Finally get a retreat to the castle. A few of their lives have been lost already. A nice strat to sling. Well, we see Australia come out with the sling strat, and now Austria is going to be using it too. So basically the same nation in terms of accidentally misspelling one for the other. And now this very forward castle push from Reppard. Vinch is up to the Imperial Age and he's doing Trebs. And now there, the hero villager from Dark gets forward and finishes the castle. Maybe never walled it in, tanks didn't wall it in. And now that trebuchet that had been within Murderhole's range of that castle has to go back. And yeah, Truco News can snipe off trebuchets. Need a good number of them though. So you're gonna have heavy camel as the trebs are now on the way from Vinch, and Vinch might even have a hill advantage here. This is though a Byzantine's castle, has a lot of hit points. Just when it has to produce trebs, won't be able to do hoardings. Defensive castle from LB10, but he's not up to imp, won't be able to contribute to the treb fight. And we're gonna have some teamwork here as Reppard comes forward to repair Doc's castle. 6 Vils won't be enough to out-repair 3 trebs, but they will at least help keep the castle alive. And, well, another 6 Vils would be okay against 2 trebs, but not against 3. And Reppard is just gonna get back and start mining that gold. Dark won't really be able to do much there. LB10, meanwhile, will be able to repair 15 vills, should be enough against one Treb even on a hill. I have another castle from Dark. They're just going to try to lose this area as slowly as possible. And Tanks, well, Tanks, as much as he's slinging, he does need more Trebs. This is one of those situations where you'd like to see 5 Trebs. And he also needs to be on point with his repairs. Vinch, your Treb there is not going to last long. We also do need to see something defensive here, like some Halb. Or, oh, there we go. We have the crossbows. So it'll be crossbows from LB10 to defend these Trebs. And, ooh, no repairs come in for Repard. And you should never lose a Treb to 2 Trebs, and you should only very rarely lose it to 3 Trebs. But that's going to be 3 Trebs cleaned up from Russia. That's a great fight there from Austria, and now with 4 Trebs, they can start working on taking out these castles, and they'll go down pretty quickly. On the other side, it does look like we have a push from Freakin' Andy getting in towards Warrior, as Warrior's trying to boom. Warrior's just about to hit Imp, but then what's he gonna do? As our Lithuanian player will be up first, and we'll look at the relic account for the Lithuanian player. I don't know what panel it's on. It'll be, okay, still 0. Leary needs to take the relics and give it to his Lithuanian teammate. But Leary will be pushing down the middle with the Trebs of his own, has 4 Trebs. And Kustier, I imagine, can take good fights against heavy Hamels. A change in monk conversion randomness. It should affect the new patch, yes. There should be bugs with random number generation throughout the entire game that are fixed on the new patch. So it should affect monks, should affect those streaks where you get the same civ multiple times in a row. Should affect those things where sometimes, I think it affects it, where you see a line of birds just going back and forth and back and forth. And so that should affect things in the new patch, yes. Yeah, it would sometimes return the same number consistently, where I might get like stuck in a cycle. Yeah, and you can get a town with all vills being the same gender. And that bug had been in DE for a long time, I think. I remember, I think, like, back when T90 first went to Facebook, I made a video where I discussed it, and I just played Force Nothing in the background. And all the vills, I had one long streak where they were all the same gender. So Leary dominating in the middle, and this looks like a good win for Austria. The sling strategy ended up working. So maybe another meta shift where the straight fast imp from the Byzantines hadn't been working because it didn't give you enough presence on the middle. But this is where the sling strat, where you just sling another player to go imp, which you're allowed to do in the tournament when you're an imp, you can sling anyone, might make up for not having the middle, and now all of a sudden you have the water and you have the middle. So nice play there from Austria. And the great thing about Byzantines being imp is you can get a castle. Your Byzantine castle will have a ton of HP. And then if you need to, you can do Trebs. So a way to repel the forward castles there from Repard. We saw this strategy work against Germany, where Germany just had 2 players booming in the middle. And Russia was able to overwhelm them with Hun cav archers and then with forward castle drops from Repard. Despite being very far back in eco, they still controlled the map. But nice win for Austria. Migration felt like a good map for them to play. They seemed very comfortable there. And 121 kills there for Leary. Didn't have the same eco as Winchester, but then he did receive 4,300 sling. Tank sending over 5,000 resources to his other teammates. And yeah, 20-minute imp time. And this is a sling, where he also got 72 kills. So it's not like you're just doing nothing and slinging. It's you're doing something and then slinging. And then Leary with the most APM. So we'll update our scoreboard here. Austria takes the win in game number 1. For the civs, that will be Russia losing with Burmese, the Chinese, the Incas, their very last pick, And the Persians, a fairly high pick for them. For Austria, that was Lithuanians picked early. Bohemian or Byzantines picked kind of late. Koreans picked very late for them. I'm always surprised Koreans fall so low when there's water maps in. And then also Burgundians in the middle. I will take this moment to stay hydrated. Thank you for the reminder. Oh, and now it displays the lobby, no problem. Thanks, dashboard. Oh, yes. Just hit click, and I don't need to use the in-game search tool. Perfect. And looks like Louis is staying on. So it looks like the home map for Russia will be Arabia, where they have their pick of whatever they want. Really, Britons, Mayans, Ethiopians for flanks, Magyars, Franks, Huns for pockets. Mongols there could be a flank or a pocket. They are spoiled with their draft for Arabia. To be honest, the strategy on a hybrid map where one person wins the water and then slings feels like a very interesting and fun take on slinging. Feels like a more... like a kind of a different version of the old nomad strategy, where I'm thinking of Cab in the Tyrant days would pick Vikings, fight water, wall himself, and sling. Kind of a different situation, but still the same thought that the water player is the one who's going to be slinging. Yeah, I don't really mind seeing it in that context. But it's a question of how powerful it is. Slinging is the one thing that is not really balanced. I think the way to balance slinging would be that you need to have pay an increasing tax for the more resources you sling. Like you need to panic sling someone 100 stone for a TC. That's okay, that's not too expensive. You need to sling them tons of resources over and over. That should get like a really high tax rate. Kind of how the market works, where the more you buy or sell, the price changes. And then coinage banking could still help to reduce the amount of tax that gets paid. But the flat rate tax becoming something that increases as you send more resources, I think would be a fun thing to change. As far as I'm aware, that's not something that can be modded, so it would need to come from a Forgotten Empires led change. Don't know which team is better for France to fight next. I don't know either. Not sure I have a strong opinion on that. And I don't know what civs Austria is going to pick here. It might be just a map where they dump civs they don't want to use on other ones. Like Goths. Or Malians now, maybe. We'll see what they do as we have the civs there while we have a 3-minute spec delay. It'll be, yep, Goths, Hindustanis, Saracens pocket, Vietnamese flank. Using the bottom row of their civs, everything aside from, let's see. Well, I guess Hindustanis are kind of in the middle. But Saracens, Goths, bottom row, Hindustanis in the middle, and Vietnamese also bottom row. Maybe surprising that they didn't use Slavs. Have to load up a cart, yeah. Yeah, make the trade carts actually required for slinging, right? But for Russia, they're... Okay, not interesting composition. Britons, Franks, but then Ethiopians, Gajars. Maybe saving Franks and Mayans for another map. Don't know if this is necessarily their best possible composition, but if you're saving, say, Mayans for Golden Lakes, if you want to lame with the American civ on the flank, like Mayans, Aztecs there, then it makes sense to use Ethiopians here. Gajars, didn't use them on migration. Maybe I'm kind of surprised they didn't use Magyars here. Feels like Arabia would have been the Magyars position. And I like the camel civ of Gajars. Well, I guess Gajars is weird on Golden Lakes too. Yeah, so that leaves like Huns, Magyars for Golden Lakes, and Gajars slot in on Arabia. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Oh, yeah, they are playing Franks here. What am I saying? It's, they're not playing Huns or Magyars. They're playing Britons Franks. I think I said they were playing Franks and then misspoke again after that. But they are playing Franks. They're not playing Huns or Magyars, which I think would either Huns, Magyars, Khmer, Hindustanis. Probably your next pick for Pocket. But Reprod has played the Gajars so far, and maybe this is actually what he thinks is the number 2 Pocket to go there with Franks. I know personally I still prefer Mayans over Ethiopians, but it's really close, and Mayans do make more sense for Golden Lakes than Ethiopians, I think. Alright, well, here we go. Arabia takes a long time to load. As we will have Russia versus Austria now on Arabia. Austria having won migration. And once again, in the cool colors to the western side, we'll have Andy as the Goths flank with Lirias as Hindustani pocket. Then Teutonic tanks as the Saracen pocket. And finally LB10 as the Vietnamese flank. Saracens as the pocket, of course, do still provide the team bonus to the flanks. Then Winchester will be Ethiopians with a good game as a Franks pocket. Then Reprard will be the Gajars pocket, with finally Dark as the Britons flank. And looks like our Goths player will be coming forward to lame. And both Britons and Ethiopians, great Dark Age bonuses for the economy. Faster working sheep versus, well, I guess not a Dark Age bonus so much as that those free resources you get upon hitting feudal from the Ethiopians. And we do see the forward early scout there from LB10. And Boar in the back. Dark could be heavily lamed here. And needs to get those goats back to the TC. No Mongols. Looks like he's not going to get the goats, but... Ooh, actually just missed those 2 goats in the back. That's bad for Andy. But he will go for that Boar. Kill bonus there for Dark. Let's see. See, Dark does now see the goats, but doesn't want to reveal them to Andy. Going to hope that he wins this fight. And just will be losing 1 Boar. Importantly enough, though, the scout did not get the final hit on the Boar. And who's going to win the scout fight? Looks like it is Dark who wins the scout fight, so he will be able to get his goats eventually. And as the Britons, when you're taking the extra food from the goats rather quickly, you can still click up at a decent time. And he still actually does have goats to push, as we'll have a Vil fight to the northeast, but that will have to be a bit of extra inefficiency in the Dark Age for Dark, as he did have to do Loom. And nice quick wall there to get some separation. And same thing there for Andy, trying to wall himself in. But, ooh, doesn't quite get it, and the Vil goes down.
Yeah.
Ready.
And now Dark can just go get his goats. Panic, there might have been a brief drop, but it looks fine now. So maybe try refreshing if it did.
Hey, yeah.
Mini Panic up, having another mini lag spike. It should be fine now.
Cretan.
And, well, Goths certainly do make for an interesting Dark Age. We'll see, we have a couple of goats here that Andy hasn't found himself. A couple of goats that he hasn't picked up yet. And when your scout is forward that early, that means you're not scouting your own base. Looks like he has sent even more Vils forward. And in this situation, if you are the Goths, and you do basically take the other flank, not so much out of the game, even if they are still ahead of you, but you just put them behind, that does help your Hindustani pocket. As, OBS, internet, live for me. And it does help the Hindustani pocket. You want the Hindustanis just to be able to usually play straight up camels, but you're also against the Gurjar pocket. Gurjars, maybe they'll have an advantage. I mean, maybe Hindustanis have an advantage in the Castle Age, as the Lion tries to help out here. But in the Imperial Age in the late game, the Gurjars should be the much better camels with frontier guards. At least in my experience, the Hindustanis don't really have a great answer to that. Much stronger if you sent the Drush too. Well, the thing about the Palisade laming is that it happens really early on. Like, this is about 7 minutes, right? Like, an early Drush would be hitting around 7 minutes, whereas already the berries are palisaded in, a boar is dead, and the Vils have been causing havoc for a while. So the point isn't necessarily to kill stuff, it's just to be as annoying as you possibly can. And that's 1 lumber camp also completely lamed. And Andy's a BF player. He knows how to be annoying. And Leary will be forward with a scout and another forward Vil here from Andy.
Yeah.
And let's see if he can be annoying here somehow. I guess these walls don't really accomplish much. And mess up the pathfinding. Camel scout now, so in the feudal age should be able to take very good fights even against Leary's scout. And potentially get that last Vil there from Andy. They'll just have, actually 2 more Vils, but both kind of injured. And Dark's still chasing. Dark has a full HP Vil chasing up here. These Vils will try to wall themselves in for safety. On the right, just have some Vils gonna break through the palisades around that lumber camp. Just need to get through a couple spots and then you can chop wood again. Don't know if they'll go for the berries, but we do have Dark up to the feudal age, and he will be up much sooner than Andy is. On the other side, I think we have a standard game of Arabia, 2 ranges for LB10 right in front of his gold, skipped the mill in the Dark Age. going up fairly standard Vietnamese things. Vietnamese, maybe a civ you want against the Ethiopians. But Ethiopians, I think, are still probably the preferred civ. We'll have a second range foundation being added in soon for Winchester. At least I'd imagine a second range foundation being added in soon for Winchester. There we are. And LB10, top 5 player, going to have the difficult task of microing archers against Winchester. Yeah, exactly. The walls are weaker now, so freeing the wood doesn't take much time at all. And even freeing the mill, or freeing the berries too. We have Dark putting that mill there, working on getting through to the berries. Slowly but surely. He'll be adding in his own range. Remember, Winchester will benefit from that faster working archery range bonus from the Britons. So even if he starts down in archer numbers, he can catch up. And looks like he will have more than caught up if those archers get forward. Checking for fletching. We do already have fletching for LB10. So that will be difficult for Vinch to deal with if he doesn't get his fletching in soon, especially with the scouts comboing. Fletching archers do significantly more damage to those scouts, with 1 damage at this point in the game being quite significant. We do have Leary getting in, and even with some forward spears, you don't always see that from the opposite, or from the pocket position, walking from across the opposite side of the map to get here. And spear will be poking down that camel. Not much HP left on the camel scouts. Villagers just fighting the spears. On the left, another engagement. Scouts trading off against each other. And Terrence Oni, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. And good game, kind of drawing the scouts down towards the pocket. Looks like they're finding a hill to stand on. But no, actually, they just want to go to the pocket. They want to try to bring LB10 down here with the archers. As we have Andy finally clicking up to feudal, has fully walled himself very compactly by the TC. Archers here from Dark can be outside the walls and still hit by the TC almost. Oh, yep, there we go. And kind of sloppy from Dark there, but he is still dealing with scouts from Leary getting into his base at just this moment. Leary finding areas to run around. So Leary doing some damage with all of his scouts. Archers, well, there are no walls back here. I don't think they've scouted that. We will see some panic walls coming in from Leary, trying to keep his gold safe. And he's going to have to rely on maybe garrisoning some of those farmers and then use the walls to defend while his teammates deal with this army heading towards him. And this is a big risk for Russia. If they don't do much damage here, then they will be cleaned up. You have Castle Age on the way for Leary, always clean with his builds. Not even 17 minutes and he's already clicked up. See how much eco he has for pumping out camels then, but camels are not quite as expensive as knights are. Archers continuing to circle around here. No real cleanup on the way yet, even though Leary's thinking of contributing his own scouts to this fight. You have, that's a stone that's not gray on the minimap. And now the X, as they head over towards the opposite flank, we do have that gold mine there from Andy that is exposed by the edge of his walls. And Russia hasn't actually scouted that. But if they get there, that would be a good fight for them. If they could pick some vills. And exposed lumber camp out here. This might be exactly what Russia's looking for if they just get to it. And you see the walls and the lumber camp there. They're going to try to fight on the hill. But I think Austria probably has enough to defend it. And this will be a clean of these armies, and particularly of those archers there from Winchester. At the same time, Dark is coming over, and if he's not careful, he could get cleaned too. Oh, what is this? Freaking Andy, those two vills he had earlier on, they never got cleaned up. He has a barracks back here, and now he has 2 archery ranges and a tower in the back of Good Game. Alright, what is this? Dark sending archers to clean this. Austria takes the score lead as they're just trying to make this game messy. That was a good cleanup there. It's a huge risk to run your army from one side to the other. But looks like maybe a lapse in the unit control here from LB10 as some archers from Winchester just end up walking in and massacre a few vills on that gold mine. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 villager corpses there. And if he can trade with archers here, that will have been a very good dive. And the trading looks like it's happening. Walls never fully completed towards the middle of the TC. And now there's an open wood line here and great counterattack from Winchester as LB10 has to send vills commit to walling. And will he get that up? Looks like he will. A bit of HP on the gate. Vinch looks like he's going to try to save his archers, get around to the back, but this is walled off. Won't be able to wall back to his base, but he just clicked up to the castle age, and he will be doing the crossbow upgrade that is just finished. And now with crossbows, he will take a fight against the archers. And he will win that fight pretty well as Russia retakes the score lead. So everything on the front that had been cleaned up, well, now in the back there will be a problem. Immediate defensive tower from LB10 on his wood line, but what's he going to do about his gold? What is he going to do about his gold? He's going to need a lot of scouts from tanks to come over. He'll need to delete that palisade to let the scouts in. And hope maybe they can take a fight. No, he's not going for the gold. He's going for the wood line. That tower will save him. And Vinch should be able to see that tower now. He does, so he'll get back, but he's going to get back and head to the gold. At the same time, he's coming forward with more crossbows. And where are the scouts? They're not in yet. They're getting armor and light cav. And still will be a good 16 crossbows, though. On the right-hand side, looks like it's just camels from both pockets, as you might expect. And some knights coming out here from Good Game to clean the tower, as the archery ranges are still in the feudal age, along with everything else from freaking Andy. He's just going to be making outposts everywhere. There's so much damage, though, coming in on LB10, as Vinch is getting right onto this gold. And even cleaning the farms. Don't think he'll take out the TC before Castle comes in, but so much damage to LB10. He's down to 31 vills. And it'll be 2 more TCs, the cheap Britain TCs there for Dark, so he should be safe, especially from camel raids at this point. And I think the pockets now have the freedom to boom. We'll have about 5 archers here for freaking Andy, as he might get crossbows soon. But even 6 or 7 crossbows won't be able to do too much damage when there are now 3 TCs and 2 stable knights for Good Game, and these will be Frankish knights that have +2 armor. So attack on the right-hand side now. For Russia, as Austria now feels like they're on the back foot. Might finally be able to clean this army. Is there enough cavalry in this fight from Teutonic tanks? And not quite, it looks like. Vinch still there. He still has a good number of crossbows. And that's really bad because now tanks needs to remass army and won't be able to come here and save LB10 anytime soon. Vinch has a second TC behind this on that gold. Andy's over here hitting Vinch with his crossbows that weren't able to damage Good Game. Doesn't have a lot of outpost vision, but these Vills look like they're in trouble on that lumber camp. In the south, also, Andy's struggling. Crossbows in his base. And hello, Eigenvector. As Andy deletes a palisade. Deletes a palisade and just runs the Vills to try to keep them safe. Idle but safe might be better than dead. But not much room there against the edge of the map for them to hide, and the crossbows will still pick them off because they're the Britons with extra range. And you can't hide from the Briton crossbows. As now Knights are right-clicking the TC. LB10 at least did manage to get another TC down in his back gold, but he's still 31 Vills, still 81 Vills now for Leary, 80 for Repard. But now Leary has to deal with camels in the back of his base. Leary's up to the Imperial Age, and if Austria has any hope left, it's got to be that Leary has a huge boom and can just carry, and carry early imp enough to deal with the Gujar player. Good game, though. Pretty good boom. Only 60 Vills, though. Feels a bit late to be only on 60 Vills, but 4 TCs as the Franks, he will be booming as well. Perhaps, maybe a Civ that Leary isn't too scared about by virtue of his being the Hindustanis. It does feel like Leary will have a moment where he needs to do a lot of damage to Repard, and then hope that his teammates can keep a Winchester off of him, even though Vinch is up to the Imperial Age with the Ethiopians. And he'll have the very scary Ethiopian Arbalest in just a couple minutes. Here is now Ballistics. We'll have Ballistics here from Andy as Light Cap are coming over from Leary. Gonna maybe try to clean this small number of crossbows from Dark, but I don't think there's enough Light Cap for that even. Let's see, 7 of them. Feels like the crossbows will take them out. We see Leary trying to get a surround, and still has an area to surround, even though the crossbows go to that little narrow passageway there. And nice micro from Dark. He'll be keeping the crossbows alive as well as he can. Leary trying to get 2 Light Cav attacking at once. Looks like they'll be cleaned up though. Still 8 left, but feels like they should be cleaned. On the left-hand side, another group of crossbows being cleaned by camels. And there, Dark is out of Andy's base. Leary is up to Imp. Repard is up, but still over a minute and 40 seconds away. And Teutonic Tanks, 72 Vills himself, so perhaps on par with the boom of Good Game, and also with the Saracens looking to pressure. Saracens eventually will need to do their own camels with extra HP, but that will still be a problem against Winchester. Vinch, who now is moving forward with 38 crossbows and just a few seconds away from the Imperial Age. Camels are getting the raids in on Dark, and Vinch, there we are, up to Imp. And Bracer Arb on the way, just need to look for chemistry, and he's not going to bother with the flank, he's going to head straight to the pocket and see what damage he can do to Teutonic Tanks. Tanks for the moment is fully walled. Hard to clear this though with Saracens who don't have any upgrades to their Knights in Imp. No Cavaliers, but at least he does get armor. And this will affect the Knights as they pump out of the stables. And Tanks will have to think, does he want to keep that TC up or not? Arbs en masse can do a decent job of taking out TCs, even when they don't have that Saracen's bonus. By themselves, they need chemistry still, but it's 9 attack against what is now only 7 pierce armor. So it's not that flimsy 1 attack you see. At the same time, looks like Leary is maybe making a bit of progress into Repard's base. Does have a good score lead over Repard, even though Repard has more Vills. But now you're getting to the point where the Gujars have their camels. They're going to have Kshatriyas, so the camels are cheaper. And then soon they will also have Frontier Guards, so that the camels have more melee armor. They'll also have more bonus attack. So Hindustani, all of those bonuses. And they also train faster. All of those bonuses for the Gujaras, whereas the Hindustanis just have the Imperial Camel and the faster attack rate. It feels like Leary's getting cleaned, while at the same time, Teutonic Tanks is struggling, adding in as many stone walls as he can, just trying to keep out this huge mass of arbs from Vinch, who had good games here with Knights as well. I don't think Tanks has enough to deal with this, as our Franks player also up to the Imperial Age. Only 73 builds, but it will at least be Cavalier and or the extra armor. But we're not going to get to that, as it's a GG. Russia takes game number 2, and they tie the series up 1-1. So most kills there from Winchester. Well played by him. LB10 just took so much damage, not having his gold secured while he was on his way to the Castle Age. Vinch got up and got in there. Most resources for Repard. Great Castle Age time from Leary, but not enough for his team. And then finally, we'll have 98 APM, total G APM there for Repard to lead our APM counter. So that ties it at 1-1. Russia winning their Arabia home map. For the civs, that was Franks, Gujars, Britons, Ethiopians, beating Saracens, Vietnamese, Goths, and Hindustanis. Maybe not expecting the Gujars there. Maybe hoping that they could just have the Goths flank be annoying and then have Hindustanis, Saracens get into a straight camel fight, but not the strategy Russia had in store for them. And we'll look for game number 3. As it looks like the dashboard is indeed picking this one up. Wonderful. All right, game number 3. We'll have a 3-minute spec delay again, and then we'll be playing on Black Forest. Leary is still there for Austria. He'll be playing the Bohemians. It'll be Bohemians, Spanish, Teutons, Poles against Celts, Sicilians, Tatars, Bulgarians. Sicilians on Black Forest. Tatars is a Black Forest pocket. Celts is the BF flank. I feel like I'm preferring this Civ setup for Austria quite a bit. I might have wanted to swap Spanish and Bohemians. I don't really like Bohemians as a flank. But I guess Spanish do have the option for paladins from the pocket. So this means no Mongols on BF. So it seems like Mongols are being saved for Arena, but I feel like Mongols are just a much better BF Civ than an Arena Civ. They're very slow for Arena. For Golden Lake flank? Could also be used there. For sure. That's a good point. Now, it looks like they are back in the lobby. Did they call a restart due to pawns, maybe? I'll just get into the game and check on that. Alright, looks like we just have... Tanks dropped, his game didn't load, let's go okay, thanks. Alright, so it looks like Teutonic Tanks had a thanks DE moment there. And they'll be redoing the lobby and the civs to account for that. Malay and Mayans are probably the Golden Lakes flank. That's also a good point. I was thinking it'd be Mayans and Aztecs as the Golden Lake flanks. Malay could also be an Arena Civ. I guess either situation is a flank for Aztecs or Malay, though. Magyar Huns feels like the Golden Lake pockets. Turk in Arena flank, and then Mongols in Arena pocket, along with Cumans. We will once again join the game to spectate it. So, once again, a spec delay, but same civilizations. Yeah, well, Golden Lake flanks for Austria. We'll look at that. Feels like it'll be Japanese Italians, then Portuguese for Arena. Malians will be a pocket for them on Golden Lakes, along with probably Berbers. And then they'll also have Slavs for Arena, along with the Khmer. And Bengalis, I guess, for Arena. Although I guess Bengalis could be a Golden Lakes flank. I don't really see them being used over Italians, Japanese, though. Now we're getting to the point where you can really see how the civs are being planned out. I'm surprised we aren't seeing Bengalis on BF. Elephant Archers have felt very strong there when watching Rage Forest. That's a good point, too. I guess, what else would you do? Polls, then, on Arena for Bengalis, maybe? Let's get those colors set right away. And so it'll be gray versus orange, Andy versus dark on the bottom, and then blue versus red. Leary on the flank against Warrior. So Leary going for flank, Winchester going for pocket. And we'll have a scout fight right away in the south. Lots of pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pawns. 1 pawn for each player. But 2 of them being forward by Warrior. Hello, Braids. Poles or Bohemians could go Arena. Yeah, fair point. And I get what you're saying about the Elephant Archers in Rage Forest. And it looks like Leary is going to go super far forward with these walls, and by virtue of getting them that far forward, that does mean, as Teutonic Tanks is pushing a deer, that he'll be able to dock and go for some type of disruption to any of the fishing attempts by Warrior and or Winchester. This is really a map where the pawns benefit Austria much more than they do Russia. Is here, you could have Reparad take that one and Warrior take that one. I mean, and Winchester take the one in the back corner, but then that's 2 pawns for Warrior that he kind of has to fight over with Leary, and nothing for Dark. Dark's gonna get some walls up. Leary in Black Forest, because he is on Team Austria, and he is an important part of their team since Game 5 against the UK. And we do have the Vil coming forward for Leary. Thinking about laming. Playing Black Forest like I like to play Black Forest. You just keep sending the Vils and keep laming. Isn't LB10 better than Leary? I mean, LB10 is a top 5 player. And perhaps more experienced at BF, but Leary is still Leary. I'm gonna see his Vil micro paying off here. Like, not only is he forward, he's getting a lumber camp up. He will be soon on that pond, or he's gonna have a beautiful pond with 4 shorefish he can take. We'll have Teutonic Tanks in the back going for his own dock, and he will have 3 boars to lure in as well. Also has some deer he can take, but if you're luring the boars, you might just prefer that. And, well, we have some more. Andy, walling in a lumber camp last game wasn't enough. He's done it again, as he's also going to wall off this passage. I don't see a forward Vil from him anywhere. Wait, let's change his color. Oh, now I see the forward Vil. To swap his color to be able to see him. But he does have a forward Vil going for the berries and also laming the deer here. So Andy's showing off his knowledge of how to play BF. I'm very curious what Warrior's going to do with these 2 pawns. But now Leary is heading with that build towards the pocket. Looks like he does have the advantage on Vinchester's scout there. We'll take 1 doink there. Loom for Vinchester. So he did at least make the pocket do loom. And there is, yeah, Repard taking this pond. His tanks have spotted that. And pretty much perfect micro there from Leary. Didn't go too close to the TC. Kept a decent amount of HP on his scout. There is Loom on that Vil from Repard 2. Not taking any chances with the scouts on the inside, but maybe a slight hill advantage here for Austria, as that Vil is now low and in danger of being picked off. And Leary will lose a bit of HP on his scout, but with 2 HP, he is still alive. And nice Vil kill there on Vinchester. On the other side, looks like the sneak Vil from Andy has been discovered from Dark, and he'll try to doink him down. Andy finally running, he just needs to get a good set of palisades, and he can create some distance. And eventually, potentially wall himself in. We'll have walls down the middle passageway as a wolf's gonna get involved. We do have Loom though, so she'll be fine. Their date for Argentina versus Finland yet? Not that I've seen, but I will keep checking for it. It is not on the dashboard schedule, at least. There is another game for later this week. I'll check that after this one. And hello, Bad Bro. And that wolf getting involved could be really bad for Vinchester, actually. Oh, the opportune wolf there. 1 HP left. Vil goes down. And Vil for Leary still is alive. This is where I wonder if tanks should have just taken off that villager there. I mean, taking off that wolf so it doesn't go for the Vil. I think 1 hit might kill her with 3 HP. And oh, she's gonna be auto-tasked to the palisades and the wolf's gonna get her. No! Tanks, you needed to kill the wolf. Oh, that was a huge mistake. Now Leary no longer has a sneak Vil. Well, he could just delete a palisade and go forward if he wanted to. But I think he recognizes the earlier feudal age from Warrior. And all of this Vil fighting at least does mean Warrior is not going to be docking and taking those 2 pawns. And everyone now on Austria will have their own nice personal fishing pond. There's an X over here, 2 X's from Leary, not sure what he's Xing. In Russia, see that Vil is dead. I think Vinchester is looking for her. They would have to notice the corpse. And they have scouted it, right? And the corpse does appear in the fog of war. So they should be aware there's a dead Vil if they're paying very close attention, as they will see the Vil corpse. And we'll have stone walls going up here for Leary now. And we're going to have a tower rush from Dark as he's looking to push through the walls of freaking Andy. No, the corpse is colored, so they should know it's belonging to Leary. No problem there. And now still in the Dark Age, on his way up to Feudal is freaking Andy, but Dark is coming to teach him a lesson with these new men-at-arms. These free upgraded Bulgarian men-at-arms will just get through that house like no problem at all. And we're gonna have a big set of walls in the back here from Andy. 30 Vils to 28, so it's not like he has a huge Vil lead. All the Vils go to one spot, they gotta spread out. And because they're not going to spread out, the walls have to be redirected. House goes up just in time, but this is going to be a tower and a continued trush here. And I wouldn't actually mind seeing a complete wall of houses behind there just to slow this down. Yeah, the Bulgarians are making a frontal attack. As the men-at-arms are in, the tower is up, that wall, that house never got created, and the Vils are going to run through. Yeah, disaster. And oh, this is going to be a big Vil fight. They wanted to rush the tower, but now an archer and another man-at-arms is getting in. And it'll just be a defensive tower from Andy. This tower will be within range of the TC, so the men-at-arms can't take it out. But he's lost his lumber camp. He's chopping a straggler. He didn't take 2 of his sheep. It's Black Forest, and you don't take your sheep. And what are the resources? He doesn't have the wood for another lumber camp. He needs to chop the stragglers. And great fight here from Dark. Oh, nice quick wall, though. 2 bits of stone wall, trapping the men-at-arms in. Beautiful quick wall there from Andy. And they can't pathfind themselves to make the watchtower. There they go. And he's just going to do everything he can to wall them in. Nice play there. I mean, if he could, like, wall in some more Vils, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then take a big Vil fight there to try to get the watchtower down. But maybe that's still a risk with men-at-arms there ready to teach you a lesson. He's instead just going to go for his own tower, try to get it up in time to kill the villagers, or at least win a tower fight. It's only 1 Vil building the tower, so they should go up first. And those 2 stone walls actually just saved Andy. As yeah, that tower foundation goes down. They're going to try to break out, but no can do with that tower up there. The archers are there where that stops Dark's aggression in its tracks. Instead of a huge Vil war where he's losing to men-at-arms, it's over now. It's over, it's walled out. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 TCs. Repard does like to boom as the pockets. He's brought some sheep to the boar here. This TC will be on 6 boars, so he will have a good boom. On the other side, it is a Mangonel push against Leary, but Leary has gone for the Fat Slob strategy. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of stone wall, and now he'll be defending with monks. Yeah, free Tatar. He added the TC, so he has sheep now with the boar. Oh! We saw that. We saw that, Repard. And now Mangonel here for Leary. Looks like he did redemption and converted one. And thank you, Han Solo, for the follow. With 3 A's. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Gaia is winning this match for real. No HP scout goes down. Repairs come in for the Mangonel, and Leary has defended this. Yeah, I mean, the Trush is helping to get the forward walls and keeping Gray open. And getting that forward position means that you can go for the earlier castle drop and push forward earlier in Imp. Andy is not in a good spot still, but he at least is not completely dead or potentially even walled off from his teammates like he would have been had he really needed to keep engaging in that men-at-arms fight. Like, he's still safe with the ability to run Vils. Repard does really like his booms on BF. I think every game I've seen, he's just booming as a pocket. And he does seem to be very efficient at it, as we see 72 Vils already, but not quite up there along with Teutonic Tanks. Tanks, 90 Vils. And look at these fish traps. Their beautiful glory of 24 fish traps. And also, as we have noted, this dock architecture does have this basket is knocked over and no one's bothered to pick it up. Like these baskets, the fruit's all nicely inside of them. That barrel is holding us water, but down here, well, there are these apples just spilled all over the floor of the dock. Sad pre-patch fish traps. We will have walls up, but this is where Leary could transport ship across if he wanted to be fun. Yeah, the enhanced view. And more towers here from Dark, as we still haven't gotten the sheep from freaking Andy. Well, finally he gets his sheep. It will be fish booming, adds in a fish trap. This is where losing this area of the map becomes risky if he loses fish. And wait. Oh, there's the TC. I got confused. I was looking for a TC and didn't see it. Well, it's behind the gates, and he's up to the castle age. And, well, along with Dark, who is still in the feudal age, these two players are both getting up now, but getting up at the time their teammates are going to imp. And Tanks just has an absolutely huge boom. What is he going to do with it? Can Leary get these walls open for an early imp paladin push from Tanks? Tanks, the way the passages spawned, he doesn't really have a way to go to the other side of the map. Also wouldn't mind seeing Andy get some stone walls up over here. As Chris will be throwing down a castle next to Andy's TC, trying to protect him. Here come Vils from Repard, heading forward, preparing to do whatever Repard wants to do, and that will start with a castle. The fishing ships on top of the fish traps kind of bothers you. Well, they could actually do that anyway. It was just more finicky to set up and didn't work with reseeding. Got as many kills as it could there. And this is now a castle that is up, and Vils will take these spearmen away at the base of it. Okay, Leary, he's going to try to poke down that castle with his one spear. Good job. Good luck with that. Oh, nope, the Vils have noticed. They've noticed, and they're angry. And they're going to knife him down before he pokes a hole in that castle wall. And castle now for Leary is he is up to Imp. Warrior is still on only 47 Vils. He is not up yet by the looks of it. We do have Imp on the way for Repard, though. Market in the corner. Again, this team will have Spanish trade. That will be added in faster because of the Bohemians. That Vil has 55 HP. He will win this fight. It's a Bohemian villager with Sanctity. He's doing okay. There we are. Finally, Vil taking a win against the wolf. Or a wild animal. Now the trebs are popping, so that means the towers are dropping. Forward towers from Dark will be cleaned up. And now it's Dark's turn to fat slob a bit, as he will be adding in a double layer of stone wall. Winchester up to Imp 2 with the Sicilians. What's he gonna do there? Now, Siege Onager could be a play for them. Second castle from Warrior, but Warrior will struggle with being Imp very late, and indeed much later than Leary. Leary could just treb cut a couple of trees to get through there. Could get through these walls and just let the Cavaliers run in. Could transport ship. Could do Onager and cut. Lots of options for getting the Cavaliers into the space. Have to question how Tatros is going to hold versus Teutons. In isolation, I imagine that Tatra heavy Cav archers would be really good against Teutons, just not on Black Forest. On Arabia, maybe. Maybe even on Arena. But Paladin is on the way just as Teutonic Tanks is breaking in. Breaking in on 130 Vils, so his eco is where he wants it to be. You're gonna have Warrior trying to quick wall out Paladins. Or quick wall out soon-to-be Paladins, but not quite gonna work. He has to run. And hope that Vinch can, as the Sicilians get out enough pikemen and eventually halbs. As Vinch is trying to wall this off. He does get something of a trap, as now he has 28 sergeants ready to fight. And Teutonic tanks will get back for the moment on the other side. Looks like we do have an onager cut here from Chris, as he trebs down this castle from Repard. And he's just going straight into Dark's base, as we have now Keshix, elite Keshix from Repard, going to try to take out Halbs. At least you do have the Halb opening. We'll see, do they charge into the onagers and get a shot on them? Onagers counter melee units, they kind of dodge, and quick stone walls thrown up, and decent onager hit there as the Halbs keep getting in some more pokes. Good defense and quick walls there from Andy. This castle still under fire, not being repaired, and down it goes. I feel like Chris needs to amass a few more halves. He has 22 plus right here. It's against 31. Keshix, couple of onager hits there. Nothing too spectacular. Still, it's not siege onager. That was a good hit there. And Repard will keep running around with Keshix, but running around and hitting what? On the other side, feels like the push is going well for Austria as they're opening up their score lead and also their villager lead. Paladins, they're fighting the Halbs, and when you have the numbers, you can take those fights. And looks like they've cleaned the army there from Vinch. Vinch is just trying to pump out the Halbs from 8 barracks, as many as he can. Look at Warrior's pop. Or maybe Warrior doesn't want to look at that. Leary is in a position where 73 pop is okay because he can still contribute with Monks and Hufnitze. And some nice splatters there. And on the other side, push continuing as we have Siege Onager, or Onagers with Siege Onager on the way here from Chris. Blast Furnace also being added in for the Halbs. Attempted long swords from Dark, but that's going to be a long transition. As it does feel like Austria's push is succeeding. We now have Cavaliers added in from Andy as he's up to 121 vills. And he'll be going for some Schlachter privileged Cavaliers. Do Tatars get hand cannoneers? I think they do. That was part of their campaign where they had to unlock them in a mission. So I'm going to go with yes, but I actually don't remember. So there's the GG. Austria takes a 2-1 lead. And I think the play of the game has to go to this quick wall here, trapping the men-at-arms and all of a sudden ending Dark's push. And Austria felt like they had the better civs going into this, but taking care of their business, getting the win, putting Russia on the brink of elimination. So most kills by tanks. I also had the best eco. First imp was Chris. Our highest max fill is Repard, and most APM for Leary. Not a surprise there. That is Austria with the win now on Black Forest. We have the flag right, and checking off the civs. That'll be a win with Bohemians, Teutons, Spanish, and Poles. And then for Russia, that is a loss with, it was Bulgarians, Celts, Sicilians, and Tatars. So maybe the map where they didn't really have their civs picked for it either. Kind of had great civs for Arabia, and maybe not the best for BF. And well, that brings us to game number 4, which looks like Russia will be picking their home map of Arena. And I'll queue for that. Thank you, dashboard. And what do civs look like here? I'd imagine Portuguese, Bengalis, Slavs, Khmer for Austria, and then Turks, Mongols, Cumans, and either Malay or Aztecs for Russia. Oh, and OBS just said, welcome to the chat room. Can someone type something in the chat, and I want to see if I see it? I don't know if it was just breaking the chat for a moment. Okay, Butter says hi. We're good. You're probably good. Friendly, wholesome OBS. Had a couple of drop frames earlier, but seems fine now. And all right, we have the civs, we have the Spectralae. For Russia, it'll be Turks, Cumans, Mongols, and Aztecs. Aztecs being used instead of Malay, Malay being saved along with Mayans for the flank on Golden Lakes. For Austria, it'll be Bengalis, Khmer, Slavs, and Portuguese. Nothing surprising there. Bengalis perhaps having potential as a flank on Golden Lakes, but I think it makes more sense for Japanese Italians there. Same thing with Portuguese, could use them as a flank there, but they have their civs set up to give them a chance for winning both maps. Do I like one of these civ compositions more than the other? Don't particularly know. I mean, Portuguese versus Turks, Organs versus Janissaries on one side, and then Aztecs, Bengali, Monk Rush on the other side could be interesting. Cumans, I feel, probably fall off against the power of Slavs Khmer late game. But Mongols should have an excellent late game. You prefer Russia's civs here? It is their home map. I think they're both good sets of arena civs. I don't really have confidence in Mongols that they're slow and it takes them a long time to get going. Slavs and Khmer feel faster, but then maybe if the Cumans can distract an early imp, it gives Vinch time to boom up with Mongols. A few seconds left in the spec delay. This version of Arena hopefully doesn't take too long to load. Well, actually, I'll think about that. It's much faster than Arabia, but it is one that I coded kind of from scratch. There were a couple of tricks I wasn't able to do because it made the map take a minute to load. And here we are. Let me set that to player 1's color. So we now have Arena, where on the right-hand side we will have Russia to the north, Austria to the south, and Warrior in the red will be the Turks facing off against Leary in the blue as the Bengalis. Late game, I feel like the Bengalis have a great advantage over the Turks with their elephant archers, at least in a 1v1. Team game composition, elephant archers are still great. Maybe Turks with a combo from the pocket can be better. But then pocket matchup on this side will then be for Austria tanks as the Khmer against Repard as the Cumans. For the other side, it'll be Winchester as the Mongols against Chris as the Slavs, and then finally Andy as the Portuguese against Dark as the Aztecs. Aztecs against Portuguese. Feels like your option is monk defense against organ guns. And this doesn't feel too great, but it feels like your only option. Monk defense, 1 TC fast imp. Or monk defense with a bit of a boom. And then try to go imp. Like, you can't be too late to imp. I feel like whatever you do involves monks, though. You want your redemption monks with extra HP to be dealing with the organ guns. You get sanctity, redemption, and fervor, so you move faster. And then all of a sudden that's an extra plus 15 HP, so you get up to 60. And there maybe you want to boom a bit so you can get imp, but at some point you need a way to push back against the castles, which is probably just castles in trebs of your own, because you don't really have access to other siege options. You have siege rams, but probably not the unit you want here. No cannons means you basically have to get a treb or a castle in a defensive location so you can pump out the trebs and keep it alive. And we'll see, will Andy go for that deer? He's not going to go for the deer he had pushed all the way to his TC. He's just going to push another one. That deer will make another trip later. Turks, question is, will they take stone? And then the question for Leary is, will he take stone and try to trush against Warrior and disrupt the early castle drop? Well, I guess trush could also be an option for the Aztecs player here too. Dark could go for a trush against the Portuguese and try to take out the castle drop early on, or just disrupt the eco to delay the castle drop, force the castle maybe to be defensive to clean up towers. I feel like trush against Portuguese can be an option. And we have a forward stone too, even for Andy. Dark, I don't think we'll be able to scout that. Yeah, he's a tile away from scouting that. We'll see that deer making it towards the middle by that TC. And down it goes. Nice and clean, and we will have our Cumin player being the first one up. Repard, he'll be the Cumin boomer. And 0 seconds idle time so far. Looks like a clean build from him. This is the question, do you put your TC on gold or on stone? I guess gold does help you click up to the next stage. Because you do need gold for castle. Stone you really don't need until you're already on your way up to the castle age. If you ever need a market, the gold would help you rebalance things. Yeah, I guess you do go for the gold in preference to the stone. Stone would be if you wanted to then do a 4 TC boom when you're in the castle age and have the TCs running. But I think you could also just buy that from the market if you're on the gold. Want to go Kipchak or Paladins? That's an interesting consideration too. That would give you an earlier Kipchak castle. I think that going for gold also makes sense if you just do 2 TCs and then Castle Age Knight aggression. And there it is. Late game, what do Cumins do against Khmer? Against Khmer. I said Teutonic tanks and Khmer, and I combined them. I used to go Siege Onager to try to deal with elephants. You don't have Siege Engineers, but you do still have Siege Onager. It's one of those weird things where Cumins have Paladins that are fully upgraded and move faster. And then even though they miss Siege Engineers, they have Siege Onager. And yet it still feels like their unit composition in late Imp falls off on Arena. Very curious to me that it works like that. Eagle from Dark. Gotta be careful having your Eagle forward as you get up to the Feudal Age, because the Scouts will beat the Eagle in Feudal, and you do want the Eagle around in the Castle Age. You know, I guess another option could be to open with Eagles from Dark. You make the barracks on your way up, and then since you can train the Eagles in Feudal, you might be able to get a couple of Eagles out to fight off the castle drop, but I still think that'll probably be way too slow. I think his only option really is monk defense in the back. We see 26 villagers, kind of slow for the Aztecs. TC outside the wall and get gold and stone. Now that's how you think about how to play Arena properly. But he does, of course, want the wood. I like how he brought the sheep over to the other TC. And he'll be adding farms around his starting TC. One tile off from getting the perfect pinwheel. Dark will be up now to the Feudal Age, adding in the market and the blacksmith, and looking to boom. I have on the other side some Castle Ages coming in from the pockets. So what is this? A nice game of Arena with no tower rush. And there we are. That's exactly what I was saying about the Eagle. Got to be so careful having it outside your walls in the Feudal Age. And Leary will just be here with the scout to pick it off. We see Leary trying to get as much HP as he can and gets the kill. We'll take a hit from Warrior's Scout there, but then just run away. And well done from Leary. He can run and heal now. And now Tanks will come over with his scout and try to get HP off a Warrior's Scout. Leary just needs to make it back inside of a gate. And also needs to run away from Repard. Maybe just baiting Repard into getting another hit or so. Or getting hit again from Chris. Leary really does need to get inside of his walls, though. Remember, Repard is the Cumins, will have that faster scout. So Leary is in a race that he needs to get to that gate and hopefully win. Looks like he has the distance to do it. And he is inside. Now, Tanks up, and immediately that's 1, 2 TCs. Doing the TC, not on a woodline, directly on the stone with the Khmer Does this mean ballista elephants? I hope it does. I might have wanted the TC a couple tiles over so you can get the wood and the stone. It's not like you're worried about farm positioning or keeping a clear area for farms with the Khmer. On the other side, of course, we have the forward castle from freaking Andy. I do wonder if Aztecs would have an option to go for an archer opening, but with the more expensive crossbow upgrade, that's really... I don't know if anyone can really do that on Arena anymore. Maybe Britons could justify it. But I think it's kind of sad that the crossbow price was increased, and it makes it much harder to do that archer opening on Arena. It kind of just makes the game less... It takes some strategies away. Now that gate will go down in short order. These are just houses in the back, but 2 monasteries on the way. You do need redemption though. There is the monk. There is the loom. And I imagine seeing a 3rd monastery soon. University, is this just... The reason for a university would be if you want to go imp. The reason for a university is you want to go imp. 2 scouts are here. Monks are being trained. More stone walls behind this. I guess the university could be for fortified wall, but they're already in. On the other side, looks like we just have a scout getting some doinks there from warrior against Leary. And OBS just welcomed me to the chat room again. Thank you, OBS. Hopefully chat's still here. And where is redemption? There's another monk. And there is sanctity first, so not redemption yet. You're still on a timer for. And then fortified wall. Alright, so university for fortified wall. And the forever and ever is still living. You are here. Perfect. Maybe a mistake to add the farms to the front side of the TC. When you know you get it, or when you can... When you think you're going to be hit by the organ guns like this. Might have been better just to have the farms on the backside and then around the mill. There's no longer that that benefit to putting them on the right side that is evened out. And there it is. There is the redemption upgrade and the 3rd monastery. So there'll be full Aztec monks, 50 HP. Redemption will put them at 55. Fervor, so the monks move faster, also is useful against the organ guns because right now they're not fast enough to catch them. I don't think Fervor lets them catch them, but at least makes the organs not run away as fast. And also, Fervor for the Aztecs would also be more HP. And we'll see if they can get conversions here. Andy has the outpost, and he knows to run. He has lots of vision over here. Hello, Will BB. It's going well. And this is not just 2 TCs into 4 TCs, but 2 TCs into 5 TCs for Repard. So he's not going to be going for a late Castle Age push. He's going to be going for Imperial Age Paladins. How will that work against the Khmer? This is where I feel like if the Khmer player gets a clean boom, it should be okay. Looks like Janissaries and Petards here from the Turks. And Monk defense here from Leary. Outposts can be converted? I believe so, yes. Outposts can be converted and towers can be converted. Castles, monasteries, walls, TCs, and gates can't. Everything else I think can with redemption. I guess Kreposts can't, but donjons can. Now there's more unique things. And Vitorias can be converted too. It goes to the outside. We're going to have another layer of houses there from Teutonic tanks to make the petarding of his base more difficult. Tanks also scouting, trying to just keep track of the Janissary positions. And we'll have 2 extra TCs in the back from Warrior. He is down in Vils, though, as Leary did add 2 TCs right away. 63 to 40. And now defensive castle from Darkey, again, only on 40 Vils. 42 for Andy, but remember, as the Portuguese, you can go imp and add in those Vitorias right away. Caravanserai, ooh, that's a good question. I believe they can be. I think the question is, do they still provide the bonus if they're converted? And that I do not know. So 2 relics there for Andy. Might force even atonement then, if Andy goes heavy into monks for Dark to research. But that is also an extra 5 HP for him, so Aztecs probably don't mind researching that too much, even though it does slow down the imp. And now Leary will just be patching up his walls. And a warrior will be shifting his attention to Teutonic tanks. Is this the current patch? Nope, this is the old patch. How does building armor? I think it is just hard-coded. Probably by class. And I don't mean armor class, I mean class. Whereas there's a drop-down menu said that called class where you can define things. I imagine that controls it, and maybe there are hard-coded exceptions. Stuff like farms have their own class and behave differently. And so double market wall there from tanks just to keep the Janissaries out as long as he can. As he wants to keep booming. Here are the monks from Leary. The monks from Leary are now headed out of his gate, and they will join Teutonic tanks to try to defend here. He's flaring you for building in his base. That is hilarious. So, workshop here from Chris. As Dark is pretty well defended, but still on 1 TC, 42 Vils to 41. And both these players up to imp. So the Portuguese player up first, but the Aztecs player not far behind. It'll be another 90 seconds after Andy does hit imp. So that'll give time for a Treb to come out, and also time for Chris to start working on his push as the Slavs. You have an X there of the Janissaries as organ guns are running around. Knights not in number enough yet from tanks to think about engaging the Janissaries, but will likely get there soon. Can't get to that forward TC he wanted. And it looks like the monks from Leary, where did they go? They did not actually go back to defend tanks like they were initially headed. They're actually going forward to hit warrior. This will actually stop any reinforcements. But Aztec monks against a boomed Cuman pocket, this is scary. This is where Repard now has 11 stables and the game is paused. And I immediately see sorry go from Leary in the chat, so hopefully this is not a long pause. And we'll have atonement from Dark, letting him convert monks and also give it that extra 5 HP to his own monks. See if you can get the switch to an organ gun there. Does not get it. Yeah, Trebs and 1 or 2 Pretorias. You do the Trebs first, and then I think you add in 2 Pretorias right there. So, Andy, exactly what Venguti wants. Trebs and 1 or 2 Pretorias. I don't mind initially going to 3 or 4 Pretorias, but then you have to delete them later and actually transition to Vils. Vils are just going to be more efficient with the wood that you can chop and sell. Stealth Warrior or go other side? That is a good question. And looks like the answer is go other side. As he can kill the Trebs and that castle will stay up. And there is Repard coming in with the Knights to buy 1, time for Dark to get his own Trebs out, and 2, time for Winchester to boom. Winchester now has 1, 2 castles, conscription on the way, chemistry on the way. The Mangudai are being upgraded. Still not elite, though. They need a bit more time for elite. Tanks is now here, and they are onager chopping. Tanks also going to the other side. They can wall them out from the Trebs, but not from the onager cut on the side. And it looks like both castles actually will stay up. As tanks will get in, get kind of walled out. But onager still can make short work of that trebuchet, and even some cavalry running around the back of the castle, not fully walled there. As Austria is taking a score lead. Oh, and this castle is on its way down by the looks of it. More onagers coming in to cut. This is a combo army of Chris cutting, tanks running in. On the other side, still Monk, Halb, and Treb push against the Turks. I think that's what Turks want to be facing rather than elephant archers. And the light cav at risk of being converted or going down. And, well, they go down right away to the Halbs. Not much Repart could do there. Austria is starting to open up a score lead. They have a slight Vil lead. Warrior is in trouble here, but at the same time, so is Dark. Dark on the other side being raided. The Onager cuts are in. The Cavaliers are running around. And that castle at the front of his base now being hit by 3 Trebs. That won't stay up for much longer. It feels like Dark is dead and Warrior is on the brink of dying. The only saving grace, though, could be these Mangudai from Vinchester. If Russia wants to win, they're going to need Vinch to pull off some sick Mangudai plays. They are now elite Mangudai. It looks like they have all the upgrades, I can tell there. Missing their armor? No, they have their armor. They need +2. And for now, maybe the Mangudai able to stabilize this. Looked like Leary was about to push in and finish off Warrior. Tanks did get some Cavaliers in, so we will have a lot of idle time there. But Vinchester able to stop this push, delay its advance. On the other side, though, no such luck, as Vinchester's castles now are being targeted by Trebs. Chris will need a good Mangonel shot here. Goes down. And Repard running in with more Hussars, but what can Hussars do against these Trebs? I mean, against these Halbs. Mangudai pick off the Trebs and Halbs, but Hussars, are they actually useful here? Oh, maybe they can go for the siege. They can go for that Slavic siege. As we have archery ranges now from Andy, and he will be adding in skirms to help deal with the Mangudai. And also potentially with the monks that now are up to 80 HP. And after all that raiding, Dark still 3 TCs, even though he's down to 43 Vils. And we still have tanks raiding with the Cavaliers in the back of Warrior's base. Looks like some Halbs are raiding in the back too, as he's leading walls to run. And Warrior's up to 67 Vils, but that could change in a hurry if Green's able to take an engagement here. Teutonic tanks looking to maybe run in, but just going to get into the middle of the farms, see what else he can hit. He had a lot of Vils on that gold, but he is getting a lot of Vils on the farms. Paladin on the way, though, for Repard, as Austria opens up a greater score lead and a greater Vil lead. Warrior just has to defend with the Janissaries, but he can't get to the Trebs. 3 Trebs, that'll be 16 Vils. A couple more repair Vils are needed for Warrior, but he should keep the castle up for a while now. 4th Treb would probably be needed to force it down. And here come the Paladins coming in from behind. Human Paladins, these have their upgrades, they have their extra speed. And he's just gonna jump the monks. As looks like the Halbs there for Leary are just enough. And the Paladins are cleaned. Now the Hussars and Halbs can keep pushing into the Janissaries. A few Arbs are here from Leary, just to reach out and touch the Janissaries. Mangudai coming over though, but too late perhaps as the castle's down. They'll pick off some monks, but don't want to fight under all those arbalests here and there. In the middle, looks like we had a castle for Vinchester get denied here by tanks. He wanted to move forward, control some of the map and the extra gold. But Vinch, highest score individually in the game, still pushing along with Dark and these monks on the left-hand side. X is being added all over the place. 70 Mangudai. Well, 57 Mangudai, it looks like. Never doubt the Mangudai. 28 there. Where are the rest of these Mangudai? 28 there, more over here. 51 plus. 54. They've taken Warrior out of his base. One more TC left for them to clean up. Try to run the Vills past the castle fire as well as he can. Is Austria going to try to play with 5 bases, basically, even though it does feel like Vinch is maybe taking the middle of the map. This feels like a fight where there aren't enough Mangudai, only 25. And against the Chimera Hussars, they are going to be running. Shooting and running, but running nevertheless. And it's going to open up the buildings at the front of Reppard's base. Herbs taking out the Paladins. Mangudai is trying to defend Trebs from Halbs, but Austria feels like they're continuing to push. Warrior down to only 15 military. He can't contribute anything to the defense. It's 200 military to 98. 52 of them might be Mangudai. But here are the siege onagers. This is what Chris needs to deal with Mangudai. Well, he needs more than siege onagers. He needs siege onagers and micro, but he at least has the siege onager part. As another castle going down, that'll be for limiting the Mangudai production then, really to 2 castles. Forward castle for Andy, or to 3 castles. Didn't see this one hiding under the icons on the minimap. Should tanks be making cav? I imagine he wants to keep adding in hussars, add trade, and then later on eventually do an elephant switch, but right now no one is on trade. Don't know if he should be doing elephants or cav or hussars, but the hussars did work out for him. There's the GG. Austria takes game 3. Leary can't type GG and gets censored. And we have a U with an umlaut there from freaking Andy. Austria takes it. Mangudai their most unit for Vinch, but not enough to carry, even with 378 kills. Chris Leary tanks all with negative KDs. And Vinch with a monster eco, but not enough to carry when both flanks died. And there's a GAPM of 94 for Leary. Let me see the subscriber scenario. Do we want to do the subscriber scenario? Because we can do that right now. That'll be a win there for Austria on Arena. I'll check off the civs. So that'll be for Austria, a win with Slavs, Khmer, Bengalis, Portuguese, and then for Russia, a loss with Turks, Mongols, Cumans, and Aztecs. And yeah. I think that'll be it for Russia-Austria today, as Austria takes a 3-1 win. And let's do that subscriber scenario. Let me just get the game set up real quick. I need to restart it. Also get the sound turned on. And we can also take a brief look at the standings. Mongol pocket feels slow until they're ready to help their flanks compared to the cav opening. Yes, and Ornlu, thank you for the raid. I was just going to check out the standings right now for Nations Cup after watching Russia and Austria. And we will have Austria advancing with Leary now to take on France. A team that didn't have Leary until Game 5 of the United Kingdom, but suddenly feels like they're a much scarier team And, well, France A lost to Argentina A. Since they haven't really had much problem in the lower bracket, China B gave them a bit of a scare, pushing them to all 5 games. This page just got updated, refreshed. What is refreshing? I don't see anything that changed, but France-Austria, that'll be coming up whenever that gets scheduled. I'm kind of surprised that they're better with Louis. And we have Chile, Germany, ending the losers bracket round 2, and the winner of that goes to take on Brazil. And of course, the semifinals, Finland, Argentina, and China, Canada. That should be an epic 2 set of games. And I don't see that they've been scheduled anywhere. But probably this weekend. Oh, actually, Chile A versus Germany A will be the 23rd at 15 GMT, so that is Sunday at 15 GMT. So I will attempt to cast that. Don't know what my weekend is yet, or if other things get scheduled at the same time. My match is scheduled so bad? What do you mean? You're hitting the point where there is a less density of games. How did the plumbing went well? Everything is now fixed that needed to be fixed. And yet the AI is set up properly. Alright, so we're going to be doing the subscribers versus AI scenario. I don't think I'm going to have time to do the Silver League casting today, but I might cast the Rex later this week. So we're going to pop on over to DE. And that's going to be a black screen because I restarted DE. Sorry about that. There we are. And reveal map, I guess this can just be normal. And we'll launch this. Alright, so what we're doing here is... Just gonna turn off the grid. And you know what? Let me also just go to my options. I will turn the scroll speed slightly down. I'll turn some of this stuff off. Also zoom in slightly. There we are. You fear the question mark enemy. So what this is everyone who subscribed during the I did a 31 or a 36 hour stream at the start of the month. And everyone who subscribed now has a unit that is named after them. So just click on and show all of the subs that we had there, or if you were gifted a sub, you are here. And we're going to be taking on a huge mass of AI units. We have 99 between 93 champions, 3 paladins, and 3 elite Teutonic knights. So look at all the champions first. There's Snippy. And I was kind of inspired by if you ever played OpenRCT 2, then you can name your park guests after your chat. So I figured that'd be a fun thing to try out. I haven't automated this yet, so I had to type everyone's names into the editor by hand. But in the future, we might automate this. And oh, so many champions. I think this might be a fun thing to do periodically, just subs versus AI. Unavailable is this username. Some of these usernames are pretty long. I don't actually know what the limit is for unit names. And yep, you have to delete the outpost to begin. I figured we'd have a moment where I could just click on everyone and show the names that we have everyone, indeed, who is subbed as a champion. Now there's the champions, and now the paladins. These are the more gifters. Though also everyone who donated anonymously or gifted subs anonymously, I just lumped them all together. So we have an anonymous paladin, and we have M Strange and Zupti, and then Pax, Liquid Egg Product, and Rafis Mirander for the most subs. My champions just felt like a good unit that people would enjoy being. Let's see, can I get them into formation here? Let's like maybe one group over there. Do one group over there. And I'll get you guys just back here. We are the champions. And let's make sure I delete the outpost and not the wonder. Yeah, maybe deleting an outpost next to a wonder isn't the best option, but delete that. And that's going to start the AI onslaught. We have different campaign heroes. I hope this actually works. I tested this in the scenario editor, but now that I think about it, I didn't actually test it by launching from the single player menu. It shouldn't be a difference, but you never know. Okay, I see William Wallace's score increasing. And here they come. It'll be a minute or so before they arrive. These barricades apparently have a big line of sight. I didn't think about that. As the outpost remains there. Maybe we can scout forward the paladins. Just make sure they actually are coming. I hope I didn't actually break something. I also did test it on ×8 speed, so they usually have no idea how fast they come. And if it's broken, then I'll just like do it in the editor. Oh, there they are. Let's have our paladins maybe snipe them off. So it starts out pretty slow. It'll pick up. Do I want to do this? I don't think I want to lose the HP on the paladins. So maybe come forward. Teutonic Knights will be slow. We'll keep them maybe at the back for our last line of defense. Alright, more militia. Maybe I can get them chasing the paladins and not fighting the champions. We need beta. Oh no, they turn and fight. Okay, let's go. Let's go, subs. Oh, and now here comes some scouts too. Attila's gotten involved. This will soon get overwhelming. Just not yet. We got a bit of time. And a monk subscriber would have been really helpful, especially since we're the Byzantines. Right. Alright, losing a tiny bit of HP here and there. Like PT, he's lost 2 hit points. I want to keep the paladins alive because we're soon going to encounter archers and I'll need to chase them down. And hello, Kusiv. Yeah, just kind of debate. Yeah, mixed up there. Yeah, just run back and forth, fail to pathfind. Oh, now they're upgrading their militia to men-at-arms. The champions are doing work so far. I haven't lost anyone. Maybe I need to up the intensity a bit earlier. Oh, red is on the move. Now some archers. This is where the paladins get more useful. Let's try to get the archers. The archers are going to be the deadliest thing, I think. Just maybe try to stay together. Oh, now here comes some camels. Now it's going to start picking up. Oh gosh. The camels are on their way. Don't want the paladins fighting the camels. Just want you picking off the archers. Zupti's taking a beating there. Oh, that camel's gonna get through. Okay, he's going for the barricade at least. I think we've got to fall back a bit now. Yeah, you get that. You use the barricades now to distract him a bit. Okay, go there. Okay, champions take out the camels. You get the archers. Oh wow, that's a lot. Oh no, Chesties, don't fight by yourself. Oh, here comes some knights now. The Burgundians getting involved. Schmeargle. No, keep him alive, keep him alive. Can't let the subs die. And I rotate, get some higher HP ones towards the front. And go around the back for the archers, avoid the camels. Get back to the barricade, let's get back. Oh, they have Cavalier now. The Burgundians, they must be making Cavaliers. I think she's in there somewhere. I don't see any cyan corpses just yet. Maybe that's one. But we'll see which of the subscribers make it to the end. Oh, they have long swords and light cav. That means crossbow is going to come soon. Crossbow is going to be difficult. Take the camel. Pull the weak ones back. Who are you? You're weak. You're Otomokul. Oh no. Okay, go for the archer there. Just clear the camel. Those archers are Zippies taking a beating. Yeah, some monk subscribers would have been nice. I don't know if someone's gonna die. Who's that? Daboos, no! Daboos. Get back. Just get back. You need a good mass of everyone. The booze might have been the first death. Alright, you're gonna have some more deaths now. This is picking up. Oh, no, the Burgundians have paladins. No. Why did I have them upgrade paladin before crossbow? Okay, get back. Oh no, another sub. Get back. Okay, just stay by the massive champions. That's where we have some safety. We have some more weak ones that are... Oh, Snippy! No! Okay, Snippy wasn't the weak one. I need to be able to click on everyone who's died and see their names. That would be a nice feature. He could have been a monk. Oh, you're a paladin. I feel like that's good. Now they're sending rams too. The rams are for killing the wonder. Hopefully we can get this defended. I feel like we gotta fall back more. We're fighting too far in front of the barricades. Yeah, I think we need the barricades to distract the AIs a bit. Like that camel there. Oh, no, someone else died. Now come back, everyone. And we still have our Teutonic Knights in the back. They're gonna be like our last line of defense. Oh, no. Oh, no, now they have crossbow. Now we're gonna really suffer. Everyone just fight. Nope, I want my paladins alive for getting the crossbows, I think. Oh no, Zupti. The camel. No, Zupti. And I'm strange. We'll try to keep you alive. That anonymous 2 HP. Champion, save our anonymous representative. Alright, the paladins are starting to lose a lot of HP. Yeah, take the rams, or the cap rams now. Like a chat message? We're gonna be spammed with chat messages though if we do that. I'm not sure what the best solution is. Okay, get the crossbow and run. And run. Into the safety of the, or the relative safety of the barricades. Two-handed swordsman now. And once again, the paladins for the crossbows. I keep the crossbow numbers down if we can. Okay, we're losing. I think we're losing the area in front of the barricades. Let's get back. Camels are heavy now. I don't. Okay, we still have one paladin. Everyone get back. Okay, I still can't get everyone on one control group. Like we're still we're losing a lot of HP though. We're still at 65 pop. All aside from one can be on a control group. All aside from Siege Lad. Soon you'll be able to join the control group, Siege Lad. Up now you can join. Alright. Start using a Teutonic Knights soon, maybe. Oh, don't fight one-on-one against the Paladin. Ambisons would have saved some lives, you're right. I should have done this on the new patch. We're getting pretty far into it, though. It's the crossbows that are the real menace here. Also getting kind of far ahead of ourselves again. Oh yeah, surround the paladins. You could fight there. You can go and deal with that ram. Oh no, you can't if more stuff's gonna come down here. Okay, knights go to the... Hey, you guys go and defend here. Try to keep that paladin alive for sniping off the rams. Alright. That barricade is still there. Let's get back. Maybe that barricade can distract some of them later. Yeah, paladin. M. Strange, you're the key to all this. You are now our ram sniper. I think now we gotta start using the wonder. Like, have the wonder... Oh, no. More people are dying. Well, like, if they attack the wonder, they won't be attacking our units, right? So we can kind of use that for some defense. Oh, now the rams have drill. Teutonic Knights can kill the rams, though. That's fine. Champions, we still have enough of them. We can go for the crossbows on the bridge. I guess they don't have ARB yet. Get that ram. Okay, we're down to 31 pop, so now we're not looking too good. That barricade's at least distracting. The wonder cannot be hit by the rams. That is the worst set of things to hit the wonder. Teutonic Knights are still alive, and Strange is still alive. Just Burgundians. Yep. Because they're making, they're actually, that's part of the joke, the Burgundians, they're actually the Franks. Okay, I think we're getting down to our last lives now. Our brave champions will be... Siege Lad's still alive. Fighting that bridge. And we have to go for the ram. Rams just need to be taken out. We're still making some progress, though. We're holding. I'll have another charge onto the bridge left, I think. Oh, M. Strange finally went down. And this is it. Our Teutonic Knights. Look how tanky they are, though. Yeah, we're gonna hold this. Need the hill more. Use that Pax. Oh, we still got champion left, too. Lord DVM. Okay, go for the ram, though. Take out the ram. That needs to go down most of everything. Alright, this is it. The last stand of Liquid Egg Product and Rafa's. And who will be last? It'll be Liquid Egg Product, our last sub standing. And now let's go for the Wonder. He served us well. So that's just a fun little idea I had. I think we'll do this again. If I have more ideas for ways to alter the scenario, I'll go with them. If we get more subs, then we'll survive longer. There goes the Wonder. And as it collapses, then it should end. There we are. And how we got 513 kills among the subs. Yeah, we didn't reach Arbor last night. Probably should have had that come in earlier. The Burgundians, the Paladins are the deadliest, it looks like. Actually, William Wallace was the deadliest at the end. Or not as deadly as the Burgundians, but he was really deadly by the end. Total Wonders, 1. So we'll do that again sometimes. I just thought that'd be a fun thing to try out. I need to automate it more, so I don't need to spend a couple hours typing everyone's name in. So I think I'm going to find someone to raid now. I'll do more Nations Cup casting, especially this weekend, but probably later this week. And I'll toss a raid over, I think, to John Slow. Go give him some love. Hopefully he has some arena. And I'll see you later.